So earlier this morning at approximately 6:18 a.m., officers received information that there was an intoxicated male walking with a rifle. Officers were able to locate this male a short while later. They began talking with him to try to de-escalate the situation. He refused to put the rifle down. Officers attempted to use less lethal ammunition, and the subject continued to hold on to the rifle and not put it down. At that point, the subject raised the rifle, aimed it towards the officers. One of the Oshkosh Police Department officers used his duty-issued rifle and shot the suspect one time. The subject was transported to a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
What kind of non-lethal measurements did they take?
Yeah, so they're called less lethal rounds.
So how did that not knock him over?
It did not have the effect that we were looking for. He continued to hold on to the rifle. He would not drop it.
Does this seem at all like someone having a mental health crisis or just intoxication at this point?
The information that we received was that he was possibly intoxicated.
And can you tell us where on his body he was shot?
We're not releasing that information at this time.
During the call, was it a neighbor who perhaps called, or maybe people trying to launch a boat early in the morning?
It was someone that's known to the subject that called us.
Did they have concerns for him?
They called and advised that he was intoxicated and was carrying this rifle.
Any reports, was this kind of recent, I guess, allegedly, did he suppose just leave the house around 6 a.m. and start doing this?
That was a report that we received. They called us and said this male is intoxicated and he has this rifle and he is now walking around.
Did it seem like he had an agenda, like he was headed somewhere, or he was just taking a stroll with his rifle?
I don't know.
What kinds of steps will be taken in the investigation, and what can we expect from that?
So the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office is on scene and they're going to be doing the officer-involved shooting investigation.
This is already the second involved Oshkosh officer shooting. Can you kind of touch about, maybe, is this on the rise? Is this uncommon for two in this beginning of the year?
Yeah, this is the second officer-involved shooting that we have seen this year with the Oshkosh Police Department. And again, we always try to de-escalate situations to try to get them to come to a peaceful resolution. We tried numerous different things with this male today. We tried talking with him, we tried using less lethal ammunition. He refused to put the rifle down. He ended up pointing the rifle towards officers, and it was a loaded rifle.
Did we know it was loaded at the time?
It was told to us a loaded rifle, and it was confirmed a loaded rifle.
I just didn't know if the officers knew at the time.
Correct, and that he was intoxicated too at the time.
Do you guys know if this man has maybe has prior incidents, or if he's known kind of to the police department?
I'm not sure.
What is less lethal rounds? What are those? I know some police departments, they're kind of like bean bags. Or can you talk about what the less lethal rounds at Oshkosh are?
I guess I don't have the specifics to them, but there are little rounds that are meant to be used as less lethal means to try to get someone, in this case, to drop the rifle, which he did not do.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too, because I think some rounds will knock a person down if they're hit by them, so that's why I was just confused. Was he on the ground when this happened, or?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
From when the call came in, how long did it take to finally get him down and get him arrested and get him out?
I believe it was shortly before 7 o'clock a.m. that he was taken into custody.
The call that came in, do we think this was related to any sort of domestic violence situation at this time?
We do not have any information that pertains to that.
Was he walking around the neighborhood causing a disturbance or anything? Were other people concerned?
Well, we just had the one citizen that called and advised that they thought he was intoxicated, had this rifle, and was now walking around.
Was that the person that, did the person that called in come from the same house as him, or was it a neighbor?
I'm not sure, but I know that the person's known to this subject.
Okay. Put us in your shoes as a police officer, just the different factors you have to keep in mind. Your own safety, the safety of the subject, and then also the safety of other residents in the area. Just what goes through your mind in a situation like that with someone with a large firearm?
Yeah, so as a police officer, we're constantly doing threat evaluations. We want to make sure that the citizens are safe, that we're safe, and also the subject too. That's our biggest goal is safety for everyone, and that's why we always try to de-escalate situations to try to get them to peaceful resolutions. Tonight, this male was not listening to commands. He would not drop the rifle.
Is the fact that this didn't turn into a fatality, was that on purpose? Was the officer, when the officer ultimately did have to shoot the subject with his rifle, did he shoot him in a way aiming to not kill him?
I don't have the information.
Okay.
How much longer are you guys expecting to be out here? I mean, do these cars have to stay here? Neighbors, I guess, can they leave?
So that'll be up to the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office because they are going to be doing the investigation. So once they are done, we will notify the citizens that the roadway will be open again. So hopefully not too long.
Did it happen more down towards the boat landing or on Bay Shore here?
More down towards the boat landing on Mill.
What's next for the officer that was involved?
Yep, so he'll be going through the procedural process, and then again, the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office will be conducting the investigation, so they'll be taking steps as far as interviewing and going through evidence as well.
I know with fatalities, there's often times where there are also like counseling services and stuff like that. Do y'all do that for non-fatal officer-involved shootings as well?
So when there's ever a critical incident, we try to do a critical incident debrief with officers, but again, the officer-involved shooting is different because there is an active investigation going on involving officers.
Right.
Have the residents on this street been able to at least leave, for work or anything in the morning? Or?
I have seen people coming and going.
Anything else significant?
I think that we covered everything. Did I answer all the questions?
Is
Any
there
idea
body
how many-
cam video, and would it be available?
So there is body cam video, I believe, but again, that's going to be up to the Winnebago County Sheriff's Department because they are doing the investigations, their investigation now.
Do you know how many officer-involved shootings you had last year?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know what kind of charges might be pending against this person?
I'm not sure at this time.
How's the officer doing?
They weren't injured, so no officers were injured.
Is this a rookie officer or veteran officer?
We're not releasing that information.
Will there be any other updates as the day goes on?
That'll most likely come from the Sheriff's Department because now it's their investigation.